going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the GSMC Dead Ball Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Roberto Ramirez, aka Philly Rob. You already know, baby, this is a national show. I know I'm from Philly. I know you guys must be thinking, oh, this guy, is he going to talk about Philadelphia all the time? Nah, man. This is a national show. All topics are here to stay, baby. You know what I mean? We're going to be talking about a lot of things today. We're going to have about few segments. You know what I mean? We're going to talk about the NFL Power Rankings of Week 4. We're going to talk about a little bit of NIL and the mess the NCAA has created for not regulating the sport. And by sport, I mean football. I want to talk about John Gruden. John Gruden. He said that he wants to come back to coaching. We want to talk about a little bit about the WNBA playoff picture, some of the games that happened yesterday and today, and also the MLB September stretch. You know what I mean? We're going to be covering those topics. Please do not forget. Show some love. Show some support. Click like. Share, leave a comment, and if you really want to be in this show, do you want me to feature your comment in this show? Click on that super chat, baby. Click on that money sign, show some love, and I'll get you in this show. I'll get what you. I'm a man of the people. I want to give people what they want. You know what I mean? So hey, come in, man. Show some love. Any donation, anything you can give, man. If it's just $1, man, I will appreciate it. It keeps the channel going. You know what I mean? Gets everybody out here motivated to keep working and whatnot. You know what I mean? We got, like I said, this show is all about you. We love hearing your thoughts, your questions, your opinions as we dive into the latest sports action. We got a burning question, a bold prediction. You want to give a shout out to your favorite player? Don't hold back, man. Drop it in the comments. Your voice here is always heard. It's very important to keep you in the conversation. Make sure that that we're hearing you, man. But if you really want your message, like I said earlier, you want your message to stand out. Here's where you can do it. Click on that super chat feature. Click on that $sign on the bottom of the chat box. Send in your message. It's a surefire way to get you on the show. Not only, it helps us, but you be out here, you be featured, man. You want to be a part of the show? You know what I mean? Put your money where your mouth is, man. You already know. We're building something special here, and we couldn't do it without you guys. It's so important for you guys to jump in, join in the conversation, and send those super chats. Let's make sure that you do that. And even if you don't want to do it here, you can go to the website, GSMCSports.net. You can tip, you can donate, you can leave another comment there, whatever questions. We got articles there. We have more videos. We got so many folks out here that are part of the GSMC Podcast Network. And I'm so happy to be a part of this team. This is the GSMC Dead Ball Podcast. You already know what it is, baby. You know what I mean? And I want to get going. I want to get started with NFL Power Rankings for this week. You know what I mean? And for this week, let me start at number 10. I wanna see what you guys think. I want to hear what from you guys. You know what I mean? I want to see what you guys think of my power rankings. I want to start at number 10. And at number 10, this is a huge win last week. The Baltimore Ravens. And I know I wouldn't say they kind of beat on a dead horse, because the Cowboys, I mean, I was trying to be optimistic about the Cowboys, but I guess if you just run on them, there's just no way for them to win. I mean, they almost mounted a pretty good comeback against the Ravens, but at the end of the day, you're at home, and you laid 2 back-to-back eggs at home. Baltimore is that team, and I think this might be a winning, a turning point into the season. I know they trying to avoid that 0-3. They're 1-2. That team is way too talented to be there. But one of the issues that they have, and one of the biggest issues, is tight end Mark Andrews. He's having somewhat of a slow start. I think once he really gets going, you'll see them cracking a little bit higher to the top 5, where they really need to be. The Baltimore Ravens. At number 9, the New Orleans Saints. New Orleans is a really good team. They really are. They're a really good team. That's a That's a dangerous team. You know what I mean? I know they lost to the Philadelphia Eagles, but they put up a hell of a fight. That was one hell of a game. I was at the game there. I had a great time. Shout out to everyone in New Orleans. Great hospitality. The people there are amazing. But coming back to the subject, New Orleans Saints, really good team. They Alvin Kamara was neutralized by the Eagles defense. Alvin Kamara is still a stud. This is a really good team that can score in bunches. It's just the Eagles, I think, finally figure it out defensively. I'll get back to the Eagles a little bit later on in the rankings. But as of now, at number 9, the New Orleans Saints, and one of the biggest issues they have is the injuries that they have. Injuries to center Eric McCoy and the tight end Taysom Hill, who they're gonna miss big time. You know what I mean? At number 8, I got the Houston Texans, and Houston is really good. This is a team that's, I know they laid an egg last week. They'll be fine. I think the coaching is the strength of the team, but I think the biggest issue that they have that's holding them back is the offensive line. I think the offensive line, if they can't get it together, they're just going to continue to expose CJ. And CJ Stroud is a really good player, but he depends on that protection for him to be as accurate and to be good, you know what I mean, down the field. At number 7, my goodness, I can't believe it. The Pittsburgh Steelers. Wow. I mean, I don't know. I have to put them in the top 10. They're 3-0. Quarterback play has been pretty decent. They have really good coaches in that team. We all know about the coaching staff and whatnot. I think the only thing holding them back is they're not able to score once they get to the red zone. I think once they figure that out, you know, with the second-year quarterback, I think they'll be fine. That's a really good team. A lot going on, but that's a really good team. They need to figure out what are they going to do with Russell Wilson. That's the reason why I'm putting them at number 7, because I know they will trade him and they will get better. You know what I mean? They will get better. I feel like they need maybe more weapons on offense, and they might get it. They might. I don't know, but they'll figure it out. I think that's something that the GM over there in Pittsburgh needs to figure out, and I'm sure they will. They do things right over there in Pittsburgh. Number 6, Philadelphia Eagles, man. That defense is scary. That's the defense that I was hoping that we would have. Guys stepped up big time on defense, on the defensive line. My goodness, man. Jordan Davis against the run was a problem. My goodness, that was one hell of a performance. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, he's a ball hawk. Blankenship with the big interception to win the game. That was amazing. That's just a great game all around by the defense. I mean, they only allowed 1 touchdown and 2 field goals. Great performance all around. The offense, threw up some stinkers. It was somewhat of an efficient game out of Jalen Hurts, but he didn't play very well in the first half. He figured out in the second. I think what's holding back the Philadelphia Eagles to being a top 5 team is ball security from Jalen. He needs to be better at turnovers. He needs to protect the ball, especially when he's on the run, since he bails so much out of the pocket. And also the injuries to the offensive line. You know, that's huge. When you lose 2 guys on the offensive line, that's big. Luckily, the guys that came in, Tyler Steen, they stepped up. They got the job done. But it might be a problem next week against Tampa. We'll see. But as of now, I got the Eagles at number 6. Number 5, Detroit Lions, man. That's a hell of a team. Really good squad. I know they're 2-1 right now, but they're still one. I would say right now, they're close to being the cream of the crop in the NFC. The one thing, like I said, is holding them back is red zone scoring, which they'll be fine. They know how to run the ball. They're pretty good at that. At number 4, man, I got to go with the Seattle, man. 3-0, undefeated. This is insane, the way that Geno is literally has had a second life in Seattle. his career is alive and well. Who would have thought that years ago? You know what I mean? After New York, after he played with the New York Jets. So it's interesting what they got going on over there, and that's a really good team. A team that surprised me that I never thought of being in this position. At number 3, the Minnesota Vikings. That's one hell of a team. Oh my God, they have so many weapons on offense. They're 3-0. Sam Darnold has been amazing, and he's what? You would think he's in his 30s. He's only 27 years old. The only weakness I see in this team is right guard play in the offensive line. Other than that, that's a really dangerous team. And Sam Darnold can keep this kind of play going. They can definitely battle for the NFC title game. I can see that happening against Detroit. At number 2, I'm gonna go with Kansas City Chiefs. I know they are the champs, and they're gonna get everybody's best shot every single time. But these are too many games that they're playing. That they're undefeated. They could be 0-3, but they're 3-0. But luckily the refs help them out a lot. I think that one of those plays at the very end of the game was an interference call that should have been made. That, of course, you got to beat them and you got to beat the refs. But they're having problems in the red zone. They're not scoring like they used to in the red zone. And Kelsey hasn't really been Kelsey. You know what I mean? That's why I put him at number 2. Once Kelsey gets it right, and you'll see him running better routes, actually catching the ball and doing what he does best after, like yards after the catch. That's what he's really good at. I'll put him back at number 1. But as of now, the number 1 team is the Buffalo Bills. That's one hell of a team, man. Defensively, one of the best. Von Miller playing lights out. Josh Allen, man. As of now, NFL MVP. I want to hear what you guys have to say. If you guys agree with me or not, please leave a comment. Show me some love. Let me know what's going on. You know what? Let me put it back out here. Show some love. Donate, click, like, share. Tell your friends about this show. Let me know what you think. Do I suck at this? Am I great at this? Am I good at this? Am I bad? Tell me everything I need to know, baby. You already know. We'll be right back with segment number 2. We're going to be talking about NIL and NCAA. So you know what? We'll be right back, folks.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
And we're back. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing well. Welcome back. This is segment 2. We're going to be talking about, in this segment, a little bit of NIL and the NCAA and what's going on with some controversy going on this week. You know what I mean? We got Matthew Sluka, quarterback for UNLV, University of Las Vegas, Nevada. University of Nevada, Las Vegas. There you go. Part of the Big 12. They're 3-0. They're doing pretty good. That's a really good team. Their quarterback, apparently, had a huge issue with not being paid. Apparently, Matthew Sluka was offered $100,000 by someone. I don't know, maybe a booster, the school, who knows. This is kind of like the Wild West with this subject. Any booster, anybody could, if I'm not mistaken, as long as it's not the school, they can just pay them name and image and likeness, which I'm all about it. I just don't think they should be getting paid more than people who are in NFL rosters. But that's just me. You know what I mean? With that being said, and Matthew Sluka announced on his social media on Tuesday night apparently, that he will not play any more games for the university and will redshirt. He says that he's owed over $97,000, was promised $100,000, only received about $3,000 just to move to campus. And after that, the next day, running back Michael Allen has decided to also redshirt. That is insane. I want to talk about how useless the NCAA is. One thing that the NCAA needs to understand: football needs to play by different rules. This is not a, how can I say this? Football doesn't need the NCAA. The NCAA needs football. You know what I mean? So you got to treat it a little bit different. And you can't just treat it like the Wild West to the point where if you don't have $1, $2, $3, $4 million, if you're a top school, to pay a quarterback to come in, what did Manning get paid to go to Texas? He's not even playing right now because Ewers is playing. So that's absurd. You know what I mean? I think it's crazy when, you see the stadiums and the amount of money these players are getting, but you look at the classrooms, a lot of them don't look very good. They don't look to the standard of a sports facility at a top 5 school, a top 5 conference school. You know what I mean? So that kind of bothers me. I want to see a little bit of that money going to education in the school for everybody to benefit from the sport, not just the players and the TV networks. It's kind of interesting what's going on with the NCAA. I think the best way to get this issue fixed is to get a lot of, just treat it like, if I'm the NCAA, I would treat football like a separate entity, like low-key like a business. And the reason why you need to treat it like a business, because football subsidizes every other sport. You can say maybe basketball can hold its own, but every other sport, maybe wrestling in the Midwest or some of the Midwestern universities, they could draw crowds for wrestling meets, but I just can't think of big other sports pulling the amount of revenue that the sport of football is doing currently. So I don't think it's a good idea to just treat it like you treat every other sport. I think we need to treat football like, have maybe like 3-4 divisions of football within Division 1. You know what I mean? Better teams, as teams get better, they'll go up, just like FBS. FBS is part of Division 1. But if you really want to go to full Division 1, you climb up, you start doing what JMU is doing a little bit over there. You know what I mean? So, I think they need to layer it a little bit more and put some of the money that's offered and cap it. And I think when you and let's talk about the money. I want to talk about the NIL money. If a player gets promised, like Matthew Sluka, promised $100,000 before anything is signed by the player, that money should be in a trust. That way, the university, the booster can't touch it. The player can't touch it until all the paperwork is done, right? And you make payments throughout the season. Make sure that the kid stays. You know what I mean? That's what lawyers are for. That's why, you get accountants. You know what I mean? And when you do a trust, it's beneficial for everyone. The player, the entity, and this kind of stuff gets avoided. I would love to see 4 types of FBSs in college football. That's how you can keep maybe Power 5, Power 6 conferences competing at a top tier level. As teams get better, they will climb up. Kind of like promotion relegation in soccer. I think it's possible. I think an 8-team playoff in college football is a little too much. I'm not a fan of 8 teams. I don't think there's 8 teams that deserve to make the playoffs currently. 8 teams total. I know maybe there's 5, probably 6 that really deserve to make the playoffs. After that, it's a little bit of a drop off, you know what I mean? But, you know, networks got to make the money. ESPN got to bully the NCAA, and the NCAA needs to do what's best for the NCAA and stop listening to ESPN a little bit here. You know what I mean? That I think that might be helpful. You know what I mean? I want to hear what you guys think. I want to hear what you guys have in mind. Leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. What should the NCAA do? What they should do? I don't know. Let me know. Leave a comment. Touch on that super chat. Leave a donation. I will get you and your comment here on this show. I want to hear what you got to say. Talk to me. Do I suck at this? Am I great at this? This is my first full show. So, hey, I'm a work in progress. Help me out. Let me know what you guys think. You know what I mean? And then for the next segment, we're going to talk about a little bit about John Gruden. We're going to keep it with college football and talk about John Gruden. You know what I mean? We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube. Absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
Welcome back to the show. How you folks feeling? Everybody good? Everybody doing great? If you're here, I love you. Don't forget that. Hey, also don't forget, show some love, man. Leave a comment, like, share with your friends. Let everybody know about this new show, the GSMC Dead Ball Sports Podcast, part of the GSMC Podcast Network. You know what it is. Click on that super chat. Show some love. You don't even have to donate. You can just leave a comment, man. I read comments. I'm going to go through all the comments. I want to hear what you guys have to say. You know what I mean? And coming back, this is segment 3. And I want to talk a little bit about why John Gruden should never coach again. I know that he made some comments on Saturday. You know what I mean? As we all know, he's been banned, basically shadow banned. He's not like fully banned from the NFL. But he loves football so much. He's a huge football fan, which is fine. That's respectable. Nothing wrong with loving the sport. Now, you know, you can talk to people on the street and they will know that he's banned. But if you ask people why did he get banned, they will only talk about maybe that one racist thing that was found on emails and whatnot. You know, he's been fighting the NFL, how things were found about him, like all the stuff that he was saying. At some point, he was like the highest paid employee at ESPN, which is insane. You know what I mean? He was amazing on TV. I'm not going to lie. He was pretty good. He was basically the face of Monday Night Football. And low-key a coach in waiting. He was just waiting for like a good opportunity. And got it with the Raiders. Like I said, he loves football. He loves the game. He's so passionate. He's so good on TV. I'm not gonna lie, he's amazing on TV. But there was a lot of stuff that he said that it literally baffles me. And look, I'm gonna be very real. I not the biggest fan of Roger Goodell at all. And he talked about Roger Goodell, but the reason why I wanted to bring him to this segment, the topic of him to this segment, we just talked about college football, and college football is just becoming dirty. NIL has kind of ruined it. I'm all about players. Getting paid, getting their guap, getting their money. With that being said, let's be a little bit smart here. I think we just can't let just college players with no professional experience get paid the amount that they get paid. A lot of them are getting paid more than guys who are on veteran contracts in the NFL. That's a subject that we already touched on. So coming back, you know what I mean? There's a lot of emails that were found that he sent out where he called Roger Goodell an F-slur. Called him clueless. He's been very outspoken about the Rams drafting quote unquote queer Michael Sam. I don't know if you guys remember that. Michael Sam was the first openly gay player in the NFL, something that no one should care about. I don't know why ESPN ran with it and was making such a big deal about it. And he's gay, so what? The man can play, and he's good on the field and deserved to be drafted and deserved the playing time that he got. He's pretty good. Let him play. He's another man. It's all good. Nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? He's very outspoken against it, which was kind of weird. I'm like, why would you care if he's queer or not? I don't care. No one cares. No one should care. We live in a free country. Let the man be. Who cares? You know what I mean? And he was very critical of players protesting, especially with Kaepernick. All the players that were kneeling during the national anthem during games. Listen. I'm just gonna put my 2 cents on this. I'm a war veteran. I've been to Iraq. I was in Iraq in 2006. Shout out to the 34th Infantry out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. I was part of them, 133 Infantry Battalion. I fought in Iraq so people could have freedom. And I hate it when people act like kneeling or turning your back against a flag is disrespectful. I don't find it disrespectful. They're not spitting on the flag. They're not stepping on the flag. To me, it's more disrespectful to put on a shirt that's been modified with the American flag on it. And an American flag design for a shirt, for a thong, for shorts, for even worse, shoes. To me, that's more disrespectful. To me, it's disrespectful to burn the flag, spit on the flag. I don't think it's disrespectful at all to kneel, let alone turn your back to it. Especially when you know the story. You know what I mean? You know the story with all the stuff that's been going on in the community, in the black community. And, I understand why Kaepernick did it. That's something I don't think I have the nerve to do, to kneel or turn my back to the flag, but I understand why they did it. And I respect that. And I fought for the right for them to have that because we live in a free country. Don't forget, we have freedom. And I fought. It's just a messy topic because people get so butthurt about it. No one is spitting on the flag. No one is doing anything against the flag. I don't see why people get so riled up against it. I don't like it. I understand it. I respect it because I believe in freedom. And I wish others did as well. And I wish John Gruden would respect that. You know what I mean? Because he was a part of the problem. One of the reasons why Kaepernick couldn't find another job. You know what I mean? That's a subject for another day. Also, John Gruden, what else did he do? Send out new topless messages to other employees in the organization, from cheerleaders and other women that he's been with. Interesting. It's crazy what he did over there in Tampa. He told the owner of the Tampa Bay Bucks that he can suck his, member. Very professional. This dude is, outside of TV, is a piece of crap, if you ask me. And this is the cream of the crop. This is what everyone knows. The head of the Players Association, one of the weakest unions in all of sports, DeMaurice Smith, he said his lips are the size of Michelin tires. How the hell? Oh my God. If you receive an email, if I'm an executive in a franchise or just any employee, and I get an email from John Gruden talking about that, I'll be up in arms, and I will take that email and take it to management. There's no need for any of that in football. And I know that college football is becoming dirty. College football doesn't need to become that dirty. If the NFL is putting a fence around John Gruden, like they did to Kaepernick, just fence him off. College should do the same. My biggest fear that there's a team out there who's willing to do it. There's a university out there who wants to be relevant, who has boosters with really deep pockets, who want to see the team win at all costs. There's plenty of great coaches out there that will cost you way less and will probably be just as creative and much less of a distraction in that locker room. Follow suit, college football. Do not listen to John Gruden. Hopefully there's a lot of grown-ups around these universities that can get, that little fence I talked about around John Gruden, and him not ended up at any coaching position, because that's how it starts. No, because, he's my buddy. I'll give him offensive coordinator or maybe QB coach. That's how it starts. And then, the team starts winning. He'll get a head coaching job somewhere else. And, Gruden has what it takes to be a really good head coach. He's shown it before. He's a winner. He's still a really crappy human being. And I know we hold standards in the NFL. They need to hold standards in college football before it gets out of hand. In the next subject, we're going to talk about WNBA. I want to talk a little bit about what happened yesterday, what happened tonight, and what might happen, what might need to happen next season with the schedule, with the WNBA playoff schedule. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. This is the GSMC Dead Ball Sports Podcast. We'll be right back.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another segment. Segment number 4. I want to talk about a little bit of the WNBA playoff picture and what's going on in the WNBA. Last night, the New York Liberty advanced by sweeping the Atlanta Dream. Sabrina Ionescu, my goodness, man, she is a baller. She is a baller. 36 points on 52% shooting. That's amazing. I mean, that's 5. And then she shot 5 of 11 from 3. What? That's an insane performance. Jonquel Jones, 20 points, 13 rebounds. I mean, she just owned the paint and the glass. Shout out to her. Really good game from Sabrina. She was unstoppable in game 2. She was so good. She was the key to the game. She looked amazing. New York is going to be a problem. They're gunning for that WNBA title. And that loss against Vegas, all the girls are focused, especially Sabrina. You know what I mean? In other news, last night as well, Vegas sweeps the Seattle Storm 83-76. Angel Wilson showing why she's the league MVP. 24 points on 52% shooting with 13 rebounds. I mean, she did it all. She was amazing. She was so good to watch. Kelsey Plum offensively had it going on. 29 points on 73% shooting. 73%. That's efficiency right there. That's pretty good. You know what I mean? So shout out to Vegas. That's another. I mean, if they repeat, I wouldn't be surprised, but it's gonna be a problem with New York. You know what I mean? They're not facing New York next, but they're gonna face them in the final. I think maybe the final. It all depends now with the way with WNBA seeding. So once everything is set for the next round, I'll get you guys, you know what I mean, riled up. But hey, before I'll talk about what happened tonight, come here, click like, subscribe, donate, share this episode, tell your friends. I want to hear your comments. I want to hear what you guys have to say. I want to hear who do you guys think is going to be the final? Who do you guys think is going to win it all in the WNBA playoffs? Everybody's pumped up for this. This is going to be a lot of fun the deeper we get into this playoff run. So tonight, I want to talk about tonight, the Fever, Indiana Fever. My goodness, man. Really good game. But my goodness, Caitlin Clark can't do it all. That's just Connecticut Sun. That's a very experienced team. That's a really good team. That's a team that has stars, and they've been there, done that. I wouldn't be surprised if they make the finals. Seriously, they have what it takes to beat New York and to beat the Aces over there in Vegas. That's a really good team. They can win it all this year. Lisa Thomas, 19 points on 52% shooting, plus 13 assists. That's Caitlin Clark-esque. You know what I mean? That's pretty good. Marina Mabry, 17 points. DeWanna Bonner, 15 points and 8 rebounds. All it took to take care of the Fever. But Caitlin Clark, man, we got to talk about her. 25 points on 43% shooting with 9 assists, almost having a double-double. She can do it all, man. She's amazing. She should have been on Team USA. That's a subject we'll talk about later on. But Aaliyah Boston, 19 rebounds. You heard it right. 1-9er. That's pretty good. That's up there. That's really good. You know what I mean? But that tells you everything you need to know. Like, everybody around just didn't contribute. Caitlin Clark gonna need a little bit of help. Hopefully they bring some good free agents to Indiana, because the league needs her to be as relevant and to be out there as much as she can. So, you know what I mean? Another game tonight. The Minnesota Lynx leading the series against the Phoenix Mercury, 1-0. Score 101-88. Story of the game, Nafisa Collier. I mean, 42 points on 70% shooting, 14 of 20 from the field. That's very impressive. I mean, my goodness, man, that's the story of the game. She was unstoppable. And she was, it was beautiful to watch the way that she commanded the court and took care of the game offensively. That was just a beauty to watch. Brittany Griner, of course, for for the Mercury. She scored 24 points. Didn't do very much outside of that. Congrats to the Lynx on that win. Currently, that series is 1-0. But I want to talk about WNBA executives and about the NBA itself, because the NBA owns the WNBA, and somebody in the room needs to know what time of the year it is. Someone, anyone that's an adult who knows sports outside of basketball. You need people in the WNBA, executives, people in charge, schedulers. You can't, if you know that you're going to take a 2 to 3 week break for the Olympics, right? Start the season a little bit early. The WNBA playoffs need to be in August, because your only competition during that time is basically baseball. And I know this year with the Olympics, it's a little bit different. They took the break, blah, blah, blah. But if that's the case, start the league in March. This is something that you need to plan out, because right now you can't have the first 2 games of each series competing against college football and the NFL. And basically NFL, because, they started the series on Sunday. So why are you trying to compete against the NFL? The NBA knows to stay, and the NBA is a giant. The NBA knows to stay out of the way of the NFL. The NFL is it's an elephant. The NBA is a cheetah, it's a lion, it's powerful, king of the jungle. At the end of the day, I don't think a lion can eat an elephant. You need to do a better planning of the season. And now with so many eyes in the league, why would you jeopardize that to compete against the NFL, starting your games on a Sunday? I don't want to hear any excuses that was the only time slot, that was the only time that they could get this done, blah, blah, blah. Start it on a Thursday, you have a Friday, come back on Tuesday, do it again on Wednesday. And that's how you get the most viewers possible, let alone people to come to games. Because, yeah, you might have an audience of a very young audience. Their parents are tailgating for NFL games. Or they're having a watch party at their house for NFL game. NFL just trumps in the United States, just trumps every other sport out there. Why are you trying to compete with the NFL? Well, it makes no sense. The NBA gets out the way. MLB, well, that's a little bit different because it's such. MLB they're stuck in their ways, the weather, you know what I mean? That's why I think MLB season should be 140 games, not 162, just to give it a little bit of more wiggle room for the MLB to operate. That's another subject. You play basketball indoors. You play basketball in cities with multiple stadiums. Years ago, a lot of these games that the women played, the WNBA players and their teams played, they played in way smaller arenas. Now they have the luxury to play at NBA arenas, right? They're getting stuff, they're getting, not only the revenue has skyrocketed, the eyes, but attendance. And I can tell you this because I've been to NBA and WNBAs. Currently, I'm from Philly, but I live in New Haven, Connecticut. Went to see and to support the Connecticut Sun. And the first game of the season was against Caitlin Clark. And man, that was one hell of a game. And it was fun to watch. And it was exciting and the crowd was into it. And I'm like, if you can just keep this going, the WNBA will be another out of the 5 basketball, football, baseball, hockey, soccer, that's 6. Well, college football, that's 7th sport for people to watch. Therefore, ESPN, all these networks who broadcast the women's game need to be smarter and not compete. So you won't lose your audience to an NFL game. Because at the end of the day, the NFL plays once a week. The NFL games are events. Once a week. You got the rest of the week, WNBA. Figure it out. You got months. And I understand with the Olympics and all the stuff that's going on. All right, cool. There's no Olympics next year. That final should end the last week of August. Folks, don't forget, click like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Click on that super chat. I want to hear what you guys have to say. I want to feature somebody coming soon. I want to talk to the people. I'm a man of the people. You know what I mean? Come in, show some love to the network. Let me know what you guys have to say. You already know what it is. You know what I mean? I'm taking another break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the last segment of the GSMC Dead Ball Sports Podcast, powered by the GSMC Podcast Network. My name is Roberto Ramirez, aka Philly Rob. You already know what it is. And I want to end the show with a little bit of MLB September stretch. We're almost at the end of the season here. Not very long to go. You know what I mean? We got a few games going on. But this is the playoff picture as of tonight. The Philadelphia Phillies in the National League have clinched a first round bye with LA. So it's right now, as of now, the LA Dodgers and the Phils have a first round bye in the playoffs coming up soon. So in the American League, those two teams are the Yankees, the New York Yankees, and the Cleveland Indians. They also clinch a first round bye as of now. So they look like they're good to go. They're set. But the wild card picture is still, you know what I mean? It's still a little bit, we got a massage here and there. Nothing is set in stone. But as of tonight, in the wild card, in the National League wild card, the number 6 team, Arizona Diamondbacks against the Milwaukee Brewers as of now. Number 3 seed in Milwaukee, number 6 seed in Arizona. If this series happens, I still believe Arizona is a better team. They have so much speed, and that pitching is out of this world. And once they get on base, they don't need to hit home runs. They kill you slowly. They play small ball. They just hit. And with smart base running, that's how they killed the Philadelphia Phillies last year. Situational hitting is their thing. They know how to work the count. They know how to get on base. Once they get on base, they work the count and run at you, stealing bases, playing small ball. and it's just baseball 101. I wish the Phillies would play like that. You know what I mean? Having that plate discipline and enforcing pitchers to pitch, and when you force pitchers to pitch, that means the pitch count, you know what I mean, is higher during the lower third, fourth, fifth inning. You might have a pitcher with 95 pitches. You're forcing the manager to make a decision. Do I go to my bullpen? Do I leave him in? Very interesting stuff. As of now, I believe the Arizona Diamondbacks are a better team than Milwaukee. In the other side of the wild card playoff picture, the New York Mets, the number 5 seed New York Mets, against the San Diego Padres. As of now, they hold the number 5 spot, the New York Mets. Atlanta's coming with everything. I don't know where they're playing really good. So as of now, the New York Mets are in the 5th spot against the number 4 San Diego Padres, they're both looking. It's a total contrast from both teams. The New York Mets are rumbling, stumbling. They're not doing very well. Atlanta is right on their heels. And San Diego has been red hot. One of the best teams in baseball since the All-Star break. That's a really good, dangerous team that has pitching and situational hitters. I talked about it when I was talking about the Arizona-Milwaukee series. Situational hitting will get you places. If you have your pitching down, if you have a good catcher who knows how to manage pitching, you have a chance. And they're red hot. As of now, I have the San Diego Padres beating New York Mets. The Mets haven't looked very good. I know they beat the Phillies. They won the series last weekend, but other than that, they really haven't made much noise. Now, going into the American League wild card, a really surprising team that got hot, the Detroit Lions, another really good team that's been playing amazing ball. The number 6 seed against the Houston Astros. Look, I know that, and I made it known, I'm not a fan of Houston. I will never respect that franchise. I think that, but they should have been punished. That title should be taken away. But whatever, that's a subject for another day. Let's keep it to this season. I think Detroit is so red hot, and Houston is so old. Detroit might win this series, but it might take. It might take the 3 games. We'll see. I mean, as of now, I think Detroit is playing better, even though Houston is a better team. No question. I'm not saying Detroit is a better team than the Astros. Baseball is a little different. You need to be red hot, and they're red hot at the right time, at the very end of the stretch. Not only that, they're going to keep playing because they're going to be playing in this series, so they won't take a break, which is something that teams that clinch that bye have a problem. They take a break. Baseball is a game that you need to play daily. So I'm not the biggest fan of the bye, but they got to make their money. They got to add more games. You know what I mean? And the other side of this AL wild card, Kansas City Royals. That's another good team, number 5 seed against the number 4 Baltimore Orioles. Another red-hot Kansas City team. This is a team that's playing very good baseball. We know what Salvador Perez can do behind the plate as a catcher and as a hitter. He's amazing. They have really good pitching, and they have a really good bullpen as well. Baltimore hasn't looked really good. They really haven't. It's kind of scary. And the Kimbrel situation, when you have a closer like Kimbrel, and I can talk on Kimbrel because he was with the Phillies last year. I wouldn't say he was the reason why we lost, but he was one of them. One of the reasons. He's so good at the beginning of the season. I started to think he has a dead arm, And let me explain what a dead arm is to folks that don't know. It's when you throw, and muscle failure takes over. Like, you have the strength, you don't have the elasticity to throw in a certain way. Pitches will move. You want a little bit of that flexibility and strength. You lose that to fatigue because, you know, it's a very long season. Season should be shortened to 140 games. Like I said earlier, I don't think trading for him was a good idea. He has a track record. That's a reason why he's become a journeyman. It's so sad to see him DFA'd because when he started with Atlanta and Boston, he was one of the best closers in the game. My goodness, it was just amazing to watch his stuff and his breaking ball dancing all over inside of the strike box. It's sad to watch. That's why when your bullpen is not good, like everybody gets the job done, hitters come in, get a couple runs, and your starter comes in, allows maybe 2 runs, you're winning the game 3-2, you go to your bullpen, and your bullpen lets you down. That is a problem. And that's a problem that gets exposed a lot in the playoffs, because in the playoffs you have to throw strikes. And if you're not catching the outside part of the plate, you're hanging balls in the middle of the strike zone. In the playoffs, you're playing teams that they're in the playoffs for a reason. That's the reason why I'm going with Kansas City. That's all I have for you guys today. This was my first full show. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Share some love. Get in this super chat, baby. Click on that money sign. Any tip, anything you can donate to the team, to me, to fabulous guys that get the job done at GSMC Podcast Network. Show some love, man. You know what I mean? Shows what you got to do. You know what I mean? It's all good. At the end of the day, we're a team. We work for one another. You can follow us on TikTok, on Facebook, on Instagram, on X, Twitter X. We're also on Instagram, GSMC SportsNet. Don't forget that. I got another show for you guys tomorrow. Please don't forget. This is the GSMC Dead Ball Sports Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. Thank you for making it to the very end of the show. You know what I mean? And I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to